Hello and welcome back to Fan Behavior. I am Zoe, and today I am not joined by Hannah. She's off on a work trip, but I am joined by our wonderful friend Tasia. Tasia, thank you for being here today.
Hi, Zoe. I love being here. I'm so excited.
And happy early birthday. You had
Thank
a big
you.
birthday bash last night, so this
Yes.
is real dedication for you being on the show
Yes.
today.
Anything for you.
I feel so
And Hannah.
honored. Yeah, yeah, of course. Thank you for filling in for Hannah. I know that she's very appreciative of it. She's on a work trip basically every 5 days, so
Yeah, she's so cool.
we're grateful for you. And it's also a very good race for us to discuss together because
Yes, that
it
was a
is
race.
an Oscar victory too, and you and I are both Oscar Piastri fans. I'm
Right.
wearing my Oscar Piastri hat.
I'm wearing my,
Um,
I'm
Thank you.
wearing my,
You're supporting
mm,
Sunday behavior. So much to get into. But before we get into the race, I just wanted to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by the Formula One, Crypto.com, Miami Grand Prix, the race that's an experience, incredible food, stunning art, and Lewis Hamilton's US debut in red with his always incredible red carpet style. Grandstand tickets are still available. Go to f1miami.com and grab yours now. I did keep forgetting, like, that is the first time we will get to see Lewis Hamilton in Ferrari on home soil, on our home soil.
yes, I will be there.
I,
I would say I'll be front and center, but I'll be in grandstand somewhere. So I will not be front and
but
center,
you
but
will be there. You will be able to witness it
yes,
in person. And you know what?
with my own eyes.
Yes, exactly. And hopefully it will be, I mean, he did well today. He did as well as he could have done.
Yes. Well, and Charles was saying like maybe this isn't the best track to show off. I don't remember what. And it was after.
Oh, yes, he
Yeah,
said
he was
that.
saying maybe this isn't the best track to show. I was like, okay, if this was what we got, I'm ready to see the rest. So it was good steps forward. But
Exactly.
for
Progress.
Miami, yes, I can't wait to see Lewis in Miami.
Victory. Victory
Yes.
for
Oh,
Lewis.
calling it out.
This is actually good because Hannah and I, we agree to disagree a lot of times when it comes to our favorite drivers. There's no
Hmm.
like issues, but we just have different
Duh.
favorites. You
Yeah.
and I are very much aligned.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
We're very much aligned. So this is good. So
Yes.
hopefully for those who don't have our favorites, this is probably not a great episode for them. It's all fine, but
But I'm
it's
also I'm also with Hannah and the Max gang. Like I
you
love
are.
love Max. So,
Yes,
but all of your
exactly.
faves are also all of my faves.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank God. Okay. Well, first of all, I wanted to get your thoughts on the season so far. Like, are you enjoying the season so far? How do you feel?
I feel like it's a little too soon to tell, but I mean, it also just could be the calendar this year. I don't know, maybe where the how the races are laid out. I don't know. It's different. I feel like F1 is like the 75 years of F1. F1's a little bit different as well. Like I don't know, just the energy around it a little bit. So I think it's a different season. It's not that I don't like it. It's just too soon to tell. I don't know. And I'm
I
a Ferrari
agree.
fan, so I've been I don't know,
Yeah. We've been
thinking of
beat
like
down so
yes,
many times. Listen,
yes,
I feel this as everyone knows the people that I support and the drivers I've supported over the years.
yes.
And I just like I've never really tasted like true victory. I mean, I've had, my favorites have won races here and there,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
haven't reached the pinnacle.
Hmm.
So I just am like, keep expectations low. And then, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, it was the whole, we had a lot of the Red Bull stuff, and as a Yuki fan, and I was anxious, and Yuki's doing well, so I can now breathe. Even though I know we still have a long season ahead, but I think it's just been kind of a lot for like four races.
I know.
So
I
we'll
know.
see as things maybe settle in. I'll get back to you at summer break.
Okay, great. Okay, okay, great. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, we said this on a last, I think, I can't remember what episode it was. Maybe it was when the Ferraris got disqualified.
Mm,
People were like freaking out, and rightfully so. But also we had to remind ourselves, this is early. This is early. And there is still time to like think for things to change, both
yes.
positively and also negatively. But
It is early. I would maybe be freaking out if this was like another like quota disqualification. And I'd be like, okay, we don't have time to mess around. What's going on? But for now, I kind of just see something affects Ferrari or like my favorite drivers, and I just go, and then move on. Like,
Exactly.
I'm like, I have to move on.
Precisely. Precisely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to qualifying because it was actually a pretty good qualifying session, I'd have to say. I feel like we went into it being like, it's going to be Oscar, Orlando, 1, 2. And then we're kind of like, I don't know who else is gonna. We, at least for me, I wasn't really expecting it to be super exciting, but I feel like what we got was pretty
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, I
But I
like
wanted to start with Nico Hulkenberg getting his lap time deleted about 45 minutes after the lap was finished,
I wish they
which
just never said anything.
literally, you're so right. You're actually so right.
Like, why'd you even say anything?
I didn't even think of that, but you're so right. Because so for those, I mean, I don't know if you, I think most people know, but Nico qualified P13, and then they came out and said actually he should have had his lap time deleted in Q1, which would have put him P16, and Alex Albon would have made it through to Q2 instead. And it's so annoying because that's just pisses me off on so many levels. One, because I love Alex, and I would have loved Alex to
Yes.
had a chance to do something in Q2. But
Both
also,
Williams would
it's
have been in
like,
Q2.
exactly. But also, like, 45 minutes? Really?
Why did you shut your trap? Like, just don't say anything. I would have been happy to just not know that that was even a possibility.
Exactly. And it's just in a sport like this level, it's
45 minutes
unacceptable.
later, yeah,
Unacceptable
that's
behavior.
how I feel
And
about, yeah, that's exactly how I feel about that. Like, I think
did you
it's
see their explanation?
no,
They were basically like, well, it happened. I think they said like it happened at turn 11, and that's not a turn that we usually see track limits. So we weren't paying close enough attention to
it's
that turn.
F1. I'm sorry. Like,
It's like, pay
he
attention to all the turns. Pay attention to all the
seriously.
turns.
I mean, I'm kind of speechless.
It's
Which
really
then at
frustrating.
that point you would think, why didn't someone just say, it's maybe not. Let's maybe not. Like, that's ridiculous. That's a little
Yeah.
absurd.
Yeah. If I was Alex, I would have thrown a total fit about it. I feel like he handled it. He just rolled with the punches,
Right.
but frustrating. But you know, the good thing for Alex is I'm telling myself he's had so many great races so far this
Yes.
season that it's
Yes.
like at least he has had good performances and it's not like he's just had struggle,
Yes.
struggle, struggle.
I agree.
So, that was good. I also want to talk about Yuki for a moment. We can just have our Yuki moment because the
I'll talk
way
about you.
that I was on my hands and knees praying for him to make it into Q3, I was like, please, please just get into
Yes.
Q3. And then he did by the skin of
You were
his
so
teeth.
excited.
I was so happy because it has been so long. It really has
Yeah.
been so long. And I just feel like, I don't know, he's just such an underdog in so many ways. And I just really want him to prove to everyone in Red Bull, in the world, that he does deserve this seat. He doesn't just have it because Red Bull doesn't have any other options. He actually is the correct person to have
Should
the
have,
seat.
yeah, he should have been the person that had the seat. Should have had it literally a year ago. Like
I
it
agree with you.
long over freaking due. And Red Bull senior management. I'm a Red Bull fan, especially now because Max and Yuki, hello. But like they have got to stop like messing around like that. It doesn't make anyone look good and it doesn't benefit anyone.
No.
Anyone. The car's bad. So like you don't have room to be messing around with the other things. Like it that's fine. I love that Yuki is where he is supposed to be. Him and Max, I really think are a great duo, and I think that Yuki really is doing what he needs to do. Q3 and has been able to just he gets his elbows out there. And that's what you need in a Red Bull second driver. Like he will do what he needs to do to get the car to where it needs to be with what he's got, with the tools he's given. So
I completely, yes, like get into Q3, get solid points. I mean, Max qualified P7. So it's not like there wasn't much more for Yuki to even be able to do with that car. And today, too, with the race, it's like he's doing what he has to do. The
right.
car is terrible.
Hmm.
He is doing exactly what he needs to do. He also had no testing. This is his
Yep.
second weekend in the car. Like,
Yep.
he's doing a great job.
He's not
So,
far off from Max. Like, and we're I think also people are noticing, like the commentators like will say like, okay, Yuki's blank tenths off from Max. Like, great, that's like I think we're all noticing, and we been knew this is what was going to happen. We knew, but I'm glad that like you said, that you're like, I want you to be able to prove to everyone. Like, I think he's doing that, and I just really hope that continues throughout the season, and really hope longer. Like, I hope that the whole Red Bull saga is just like over, and that they can kind of just really focus on getting the car back to where it needs to be. Who knows how much longer Max is going to be here? So he's about to be Papa. So I just hope that I hope that they are on like a upward trajectory with the team. Just you have your drivers, like please just stick to them. I think are really gonna work some magic with what they are given, and I just really hope they just also so Yuki can thrive. Like there needs to be a good environment so he can also thrive. Max, I feel like can
exactly.
thrive off of the most chaos ever. Like he wouldn't even care. But that's my thoughts on that.
I completely agree. Yeah. So I was thrilled for the Q3 for Yuki. Esteban,
Yeah.
obviously, he had his little crash in Q2, which red flagged the qualifying session. Q3, we had an amazing performance from Pierre Gasly. Like, that
They put
was
juice in that car. Juice.
impressive. I was snaps for him. That was very, very good.
Snap
Um,
in again in
he was
qualifying.
he was P11.
Okay, not
He was
bad.
the one who almost knocked
Yes.
Yuki out of
Yes.
Q3. So
Okay.
I was grateful that Jack
Same.
qualified P11. But he did well. He
But
did
the
well.
Alpine, yes, the Alpine was kicking it this week.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And then we had the thrilling fight for pole position.
Yes.
And Oscar Piastri prevailed. Thank God. You and I both love Oscar.
Oh yeah.
And I just and we'll get into this with the race and everything, but I do think we all felt going into the season that Oscar could fight for the world championship, but we were maybe a little bit like, gotta wait and see. Or at least that's how I felt.
I think I was just more apprehensive about the McLaren side of it.
Yeah. Now I'm like, he is fully in it to
He's
win the
leaving
championship.
no room for higher rules, no room for he's doing everything he can so that there's no talk about
Yes.
him wanting to go for it.
Yes, exactly. He had a bit of a mistake. He qualified P6. He obviously recovered well in the race, and we can get to that. But I was surprised to see him in P6.
Yeah.
George Russell qualifying P2, Charles P3. I'm
Yeah.
obviously a Charles Leclerc fan, so I was
Um,
thrilled for that. Lewis, not a great qualifying session, but you know what? He made up for it in the race.
Yep, he sure did. That he sure did. I think also I do want to talk about George
Tell
because
me.
I posted something about like George could get pole or whatever, and not a lot of people were confident in that. And I was like, I don't know. I think with the whole narrative of like, oh, Mercedes is so bad, or because they were having some rough years, that's ending, y'all. Like I think we need to wake up again because George is putting that car consistently at close to pole, and I was like, we can't count out George Russell. He might not be one of my favorites, but I was like, we cannot count him out because him and Kemi were on some great laps all through qualifying. So I really am really trying to not like in my head be like, wait, Mercedes is like, especially George, like they're getting that car up there. I can't just be like, oh, Mercedes. They're not like, they're up there.
I think Mercedes is the second fastest team right now.
Yes.
Like pretty certainly the second fastest team. George is doing an incredible job, like very underrated. I feel like more people are paying attention to him like this
Yeah.
weekend particularly, but he's just been very solid. Kimmy has been unbelievable for a
Yeah.
rookie. He's 18 years old and he's
Insane.
qualifying right there with his teammate. And so
They
impressive.
got it right. They got it right. Like
Yes.
I think as soon as Lewis announced his moving to whatever, like I was probably one of the only few people that was very apprehensive about Kimmy. They got it right. Like Kimmy and George, and then what's going on with the car, like I don't know, like they're getting it right. So kudos to Mercedes for that.
Yes, very, very much so. I think that they're really Ferrari, I feel like could overtake them as the second fastest team
Yeah.
over the course of the season. But I think
Still
right
getting in the groove of
now,
things and yeah.
yes, exactly. Unfortunately for Mercedes, they did receive a penalty, both George and Kimi, because
Yep.
they went out too soon during the red flag. So they each got one place grid penalties. So George started in third, Kimi started in fifth. Honestly, like, okay, it's not that huge. It's not that big of a difference. It was fine. It ended up being fine in the end. But also, Mercedes, like, come on, do better than
Yeah.
that. I don't like when it's team inflicted wounds for
Yeah.
drivers.
Yes.
Anything else from qualifying you want to discuss before we get into the
Mm.
race itself?
No, let's get into the juice.
Okay, let's get into the juice. So, first thing I had written down was that an absolutely great start by Lando Norris. Now, we've then found out,
Ah,
about the false start of it,
yeah.
or not false start, but I guess he was over his grid box. But still, I was like, whoa, that was
Same.
really impressive.
Because
And
we're usually known for Lando to like not really have the best of starts. And I remember I was like, what, where'd this come from?
it was
He was
so
like, kick
impressive.
my ass. Like he was like, I'm getting
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that was an impressive
Yes.
start, like exactly what he needed to do. And then we find out that he started a little bit above his grid box. Max Verstappen, he is clocking everything. He sees it all.
He could have seen that at turn 11
Yeah.
for qualifying. He could have caught Nico Hulkenberg at
Yeah,
turn 11 for
exactly.
qualifying.
Exactly. Max's career, second career needs to become a steward.
Yes. Yes. No, he's always on it, head on a swivel.
I relate so much to Max in that regard because I feel like I'm always like to a fault. I see everything like I'm always just observing all the things and I feel like that's exact I would be constantly watching like
Yep.
okay, who's screwing up here, who's messing up there. So
Yep.
Max was on that. So Lando gets 5 second penalty, which honestly was fine. Like it didn't really affect his race, I
Yeah.
don't think. It was so early in the race too that he was he was all good. Ollie also had a great start. Ollie had a great race.
My driver of the day.
Okay, actually, I agree with you. Lewis did have a great performance. Ninth
Yes.
to fifth was great, but I agree.
This is my
Going
driver of the day
from
all the time.
right, exactly. Going from 20th to 10th, like,
Yeah.
and he's a rookie.
Yeah. Like that was my driver of the day. I was like P20 to P10. Hello. Are we
Very
all watching the
impressive.
same race? Like, and I feel like
Totally.
we weren't talking about Haas. And I'm so here for a double Haas points. Like,
Esteban
I'm,
was great.
yes, I'm so happy that after the change of everything, I'm just so happy that they are doing so well. So happy
Yes.
about that. They had a really good race.
I think what's also been really fun is that even Stake, which I feel like is probably the worst team on the grid,
Yeah.
they've still gotten points this season. Everybody is capable of scoring points. Everyone's capable of having a strong performance. You never
Yes.
really know in that midfield who's going to pop off.
Yeah.
And I think that's really fun. Like Pierre Gasly, I would not have predicted before the weekend would be fighting in like the top five,
Same. Same.
So that's like a nice change, I think.
Yeah, I do
Um,
love that this season there are points that are already up for all teams. Everyone's doing well within, what they have and who they are.
Exactly. Wanted to talk about Max and Red Bull because Max was just complaining a lot, and rightfully so. The car was not great, but he was just not having a great time. Then both Max and Yuki come in for pit stops, and the light was malfunctioning, wasn't turning green, so they had the slowest pit stops ever.
Or pit stops for Red Bull today. And then that last one, I think it was the last one for Max, that front
Oh
right.
yeah, I
Oh
know.
my the horror, I was screaming. Like I was like, come on, like he's been struggling with his brakes all weekend. Like it's just I was expecting Max to be more upset, but honestly, he probably was just by the time the race happened, he was like, I've been having this problem all weekend. He's probably just like, whatever, I want to
So
go home.
over it.
Like
And it's
he's probably so
so unlike Red Bull too. This is the thing that's so interesting. It's like when they were fast, everything was perfect. Like their pit stops were always so fast and on it. And then
we
like,
wanted them to be bad at pit stops
yes,
because they were
exactly,
so fast.
exactly, exactly. And now it's just like everything's kind of just a little bit more
Yes.
discombobulated, I guess. I don't know.
That's what I mean. Like I just really it needs to click all back together again for Red Bull. And that's what I'm saying. Hopefully, now that I feel like the right person that should have been in the second seat is in the second seat.
Yep,
Hopefully everything else trickles down. They can kind of just really settle back in into like getting closer, just getting back to like what Red Bull is. Because today's performance was definitely not one of them. And the drivers really did everything they could to keep that car in the points. Like I just think it's a huge props to Max and Yuki for getting the car still in the points because slow pit stops, the car was not doing well. Yeah, they did what they had to do. They did their big one.
exactly. Exactly. Then we had the issue, well, like, it was kind of like simultaneous. We got the safety car, which I don't know if you felt this. I was like, what's the safety car for? They
So
spent
weird.
forever to explain. I was like, is somebody off in the has someone crashed? They
Right.
didn't.
We didn't have the yellow flag first, right? Like on our like what
Oh
is it
yeah,
called?
yeah, 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 yeah. It was safety car
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. I was like,
Yes.
what? I was
Yes.
just chilling. I literally was like, oh, I'm laying down. A safety car. Like we all woke up. We were like, what? And we expected someone to be flipped over upside down. So no, no.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can't really remember, but I was like, in my almost 5 years of being an F1 fan, I don't remember them straight up full safety car for some debris.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
a little confused.
Well, okay, so I actually saw someone asked us about this in the questions, like what was the safety car for? And for those who didn't
Okay.
see it, it was for Carlos, or it was for the little fight between Yuki Carlos, some debris on the track. Do you remember last year? I don't remember where it was, where there was that debris on the track, and we were like,
Yes.
someone needs to get that off.
Yep.
And then I think Carlos ran over it and he had a
Yep.
puncture. So I think my read on it was that there's probably a lot of it on like dispersed, like small little bits. And in order to actually fully get everything off of the track, they needed the safety car to be able to do
Yes.
so.
I just also feel
That
like
was,
we didn't see it. Like I don't,
I
were
know, it
you
was weird.
showing us
Now,
what's going on? I don't know.
it did benefit my drivers, so I was
Of
happy about it.
course.
Like Yuki needed the cheap pit stop, so I was like,
Yeah.
great. Honestly, Yuki was the one that maybe caused the safety car, so he was playing 3D chess. He was like, I need a cheap pit stop. Let's cause some damage here.
Yep. Love it.
Um,
Chaos team.
love it. And then George's transponder thing wasn't working. So he was bouncing around the timing graphics. Like it looked like he was DNFing
When
back
he
up
went
to
to P20,
second.
I was like, guys, what? What? I was like, and then they weren't showing, and I was like screaming. The commentators were just lolly la la. And I was like, why are you not talking about George going to P20? Are we not watching this? And then they were like, just so you know. And I was like, okay. My
Yeah,
literal heart rate looked at my watch, it was like 120. And I was
I
like, what's
know.
going on?
I know. I was so weird. And then the timing graphics weren't working. And so
At
no one could
all.
know the gaps to the drivers. And it was so it was crazy how reliant, I mean, it makes sense, but we're so reliant on those graphics to like follow,
Yeah.
to like have an enjoyable race watching
Right.
experience. Um, so that was just a lot of chaos. Couldn't figure out where
Those
anybody
added.
was.
Yes. I feel like, I don't know, they've got to get that together.
They need to get it together.
Another thing that we're like, come on, you're F1. Like
Yep.
that has got things like that, I feel like should be able to be troubleshooted. All the money that they have, come on,
Yep.
let's on that because it was like, I don't know, it was a little for like you said, for our viewing experience, it made it different and kind of difficult at times.
Agreed. And then George's DRS like thing wasn't working, so he had to basically manually be told
Yes.
when he can use DRS,
Yes.
which then caused a potential issue with him maybe using it when he shouldn't. We obviously now know they've
He's
explained
fine.
that basically there was no advantage gained. He actually like lost an advantage because of it, and there's no penalty for it, which is fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Whatever. It didn't seem like a huge deal to me. It was probably a bigger deal for George, in the car. I wanted to ask you about Liam quickly because he had two penalties for just a little bit of chaos on the track. And do we think he can recover from the whole Red Bull back to Racing Bulls thing, or is he going to kind of spiral down, if that makes sense?
Spiral down.
You think so?
Unfortunately, I hate to be a I don't know, pessimist. I just if it were me
Oh,
and that
me too.
happened to me, I'd be down bad, down bad. So I'm not the biggest Liam Lawson fan, but I feel bad for him. Like I don't know. I couldn't imagine being like, yes, I got my dream seat. And then also a lot of people being like, you didn't deserve that seat. So already having that and then losing the seat after two races and then I don't know, just feels awful. So
He was put in a bad situation that wasn't his doing, and he was put in a situation where he wasn't like allowed to succeed or able to succeed.
yeah,
And
because he's
then
not a bad driver. We watched
no,
the season. Like
exactly.
this just
But
seems
it
like a different version.
Yeah, and it feels like I mean, he had that issue in qualifying where his DRS wasn't
Yeah,
working.
wasn't
So
his fault.
it wasn't his fault, but
Right.
it just feels like he's a little bit trying. He's like really, really trying to make something happen in the
Mm,
race to prove himself. And then it's causing these issues and incidents. And obviously, Isaac is really fast. Isaac is really good. I love Isaac.
love
He's won
Isaac.
me over. I'm huge. I mean, all the rookies, honestly, I like them all. I've been very um I don't know. They've just,
Yes. I keep saying, oh, that's my favorite rookie. Oh, I
yeah,
like all of them are truly so great. Like so great.
yes, I completely agree with you. But it's just like Isaac's no cakewalk.
Yeah.
Like Liam has to now prove himself against Isaac.
Yeah.
So I think it just takes one really strong performance to like boost his
Get
confidence
it
back
back.
up again. But it needs to happen sooner rather than later because
Well,
if
it's
he,
just truly about momentum, confidence,
yeah,
all and the momentum has been
yeah,
downward. And so
yeah.
it's a lot of mentality and it's just it's a lot of mental, and that's hard. That would be really, really hard to kind of recover.
Exactly. And then Carlos also had a tough race. He had his issue
My man
with
cannot
Yuki.
catch a break in the races.
No. And then he got a penalty for forcing Kimmy off the track. He had that big hole in his side pod. He had to retire the car. He's just had a rough go of it.
Wasn't the first race a DNF? Yeah, right? Like first race
Gosh,
DNF,
I can't even
like
remember.
yeah, it's in general, races have not been going his way so far.
Qualifying
Which
really, I mean, he did better in qualifying. He got into Q3, which was
yeah,
great.
qualifying was
Um, was good and out qualified Alex, which was good for him and his confidence. But the racing itself just seems like it's a little bit, it's just not, he hasn't fully brought it all together quite yet.
he brought it together for Alex that one race. But I think that it's like he did good things though. Good things were done out there on the track today for this race. And I think even James Vowles was saying that over the radio, like when they were bringing him in because he was like, yeah, he was P20, all he had too much damage to continue. And I think James was saying like it was like a great race out there today, great work, like things I know this isn't how we wanted it to end, but like really like we were doing things. And I think that he still brings so much value to the team. Um yeah, I don't know. Sucks, but he
Still a
did.
lot of time to recover,
Yes, yes.
which is good. Um, the battle between Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris for that final podium spot. Listen, I like Lando
My
Norris.
sweet.
I'm not anti Lando, but obviously I'm pro Charles Leclerc. And so I was like,
Of course.
come on, Charles
Same.
Leclerc, get your first podium of the season.
He was
Oh,
doing what he had to do though. He was
he
putting
was.
everything into it. Because my thing with Charles is always I want him to just be more aggressive. Like I love Charles. I think I love him even more because I'm such a big Lewis fan and I'm a Ferrari fan and now like it's on the same team, so of course. But when it was like Charles and Carlos, like I was more of a Carlos girl because he was very aggressive.
Hmm.
Love that Charles was really putting it out there. Like he was really like, no, Lando, I'm not letting you pass. And then of course Lando ended up passing. But Charles was, I loved his defensive work today. Love your work, Charles Leclerc. You were killing it. You were killing it. I
He
loved
was.
it.
And also I felt like Ferrari, wasn't he on hard tires at the time? I feel like Ferrari kind of screwed up the tires and
Yeah.
that wasn't great. I feel like he should have been on mediums, but I don't know if he had any extras. I don't know like what his allocation was
Right.
for tires,
I
but I
think
was
it was
proud of
hard.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember at
I
one point over the radio, Lewis literally said, this tire sucks. I saved that radio and I was like, Thanks, Lewis. As simple as that. And for
I
that,
mean,
he did all
for
that, yeah.
yeah. So, and obviously the McLaren is of the fastest car. So it wasn't like like a shock for Lando to overtake Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
And we will get there eventually. Us Charles Leclerc Ferrari fans, like I do believe good things will come to us eventually. I have
Fingers
to believe it.
crossed.
I have to
The
believe
folks
it.
you need it.
Yep, yep. Okay, Oscar obviously wins the race. So impressive. We like never saw him because he was just off in the distance, killing it. And you know what? Like, I'm just I now this is like maybe the first time in the season where I'm like, he he can win it. He can win it all.
You know it.
He
When
can
he
win it.
took pole, I knew. I was like, yeah, Oscar's he is not playing around. He's not here to play. Like he's just such a cool cucumber.
Yep.
Just ill as can be. I adore him. And I think that he has the mentality of a driver's champion. I or the of a champion. I think that he has the skill. He has the talent. He just has it. He has it all. And I can't wait for him to be driver's champion.
I
I know
agree. He definitely, I think the one thing that was always the question mark for me was his qualifying ability in the past.
that,
Like, can
that,
he improve the qualifying
that
ability? Because he's a
needs to
great
be on
racer.
pole.
Yes.
Yes.
He's cool under pressure. He doesn't get too flustered. And I feel like this is the season where he has gotten his qualifying, at least so far, knock on wood, gotten his qualifying figured out. He's gotten to pole position so far. He really is in it to win it. And I am looking forward. I'm looking forward to the battle throughout the season, like to see how that plays out. Because I think
Lando's feeling the pressure
we
and
will have a battle,
yes.
which
And I
I
think that'll
think is
be
fun.
fun, but it's a team battle.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
that
exactly.
because I'm trying to think like since because we kind of been fans of around the same time. Like I don't think we've had that since we've been fans. And I think that's really fun.
Not since like Nico Rosberg and Lewis
Yeah,
Hamilton did we
true.
have a inter-team battle for the championship.
Yeah. I think this
Um,
is really fun.
so yeah, it's gonna be fun. Also, just want to give a shout out to Pierre Gasly getting his first points of the season. Max did catch him at the very end to get P6,
Yeah,
but he still got P7, which is obviously great for an Alpine, and it's his first points of the season, so that's obviously great for him. I loved the cool down room
Me
this
too.
week.
I was telling someone that like this cool down room was so fun. Also, George, just like, what did he say? There was something that Lando did when they were watching, and George was like, "Oh, why'd you do that?" or something like, and Lando was like, "Okay, like, why are you messing around with me?" Like,
It was
George,
so good. I could
oh,
watch 15 minutes of them just commenting on the
yes,
race and the different
yes.
moments. Oh my gosh, it was just
Them in
perfect.
unison, always going, "Oh, oh." I loved that cool down room. That was a good one, and also it was so fancy.
I know. Okay, it's like a lot fancier this
Yeah, okay,
season. Have you
okay.
noticed?
Yes, I knew I wasn't going crazy. The podiums for their helmets, I was like,
Yep.
wait, slay. It looked nice. Really, really nice.
Everyone this season has been really, really nice. Like
Did I say
couches.
thank you, LVMH? Like I feel like it has something to do with that. It
You're
has
so
to.
right. You're so right.
Ah,
You're so right.
giving love.
Um, yeah, and I feel like the like trio of George, Oscar, Lando, they're like friends and close enough that they can like banter and have fun. Sometimes if you have like three people that aren't really very friendly or like different ages, they kind of don't know how to like talk to each other, and it's a little awkward sometimes. But I feel like this is a good trio
Great. It was
for the
great.
cool down room experience. Um, just a quick note that Nico Hulkenberg was disqualified post-race due to excessive skid wear, which has been a recurring theme this season. And no penalty for George, as we already said. I wanted to ask you before we get into the questions from the listeners, like how confident, if you had to, I guess, give a percentage of like how confident you are that Oscar will win the championship, like where do you land right now? I know it's only been, what's it been, four races?
Mhm.
Where like are you like 50-50?
I'm an all or nothing kind of gal. So
You're all in on Oscar.
now, yeah, right now I'm saying Oscar all the way to the moon.
Okay.
He's gonna take it. I mean, of course things can happen, but I feel like if Oscar is on continues on the path that he's on right now, like if he's gonna continue to put it on pole multiple times throughout the season, he really has got a great chance. But I do think that if Lando is going to give it to him as well, which I could, see
Definitely.
a lot more fun for me, for us to watch like a true battle. But I would still be very happy if like Oscar kind of had a comfortable lead. But I would love to see like a really close battle with both McLarens.
I think
So
it will be.
yeah, I hope that Lando also is. I hope it's a tussle. It's a Lando pole 1 week, then it's an Oscar pole, then it's a Land. Like I would love to see the pendulum swing back and forth. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
And as we get upgrades and stuff, I think we'll start to
Yes.
see, George might win a race here and there. God
Yep.
forbid a Ferrari wins a race. Maybe
Please.
Yuki will win a race.
Please. More
Let's
the merrier. Please.
Honestly, I watched the race with my dad and my mom, and we were saying like if Yuki ever won a race or was on the podium at all, like he would be so chaotic in the cool down room, and just like his energy would just
So
be
giddy.
he'd be jumping off the walls, he'd be running around, and like imagine if he was on the podium with Pierre, like he would.
Stop. I'm literally gonna cry. Like I'm like thinking about that.
Pierre's gonna carry Yuki out to the podium on his back.
I think Yuki would like his soul would leave his body. He would be like, "This is what dreams are made of." Me and my bestie, of course. Like, yes, I
Yeah,
would. I would probably cry. I'd be
me too.
dramatic.
Oh, me too. I would fully cry. It would be the best day of my life, probably. Okay, let's get to some of the questions. Okay, what was your favorite moment of the race?
What was my favorite moment of the race? Hmm, I don't
It's
know.
okay if you
Oscar
don't have one.
winning.
Yeah,
Oscar
Oscar winning was a
winning.
great one. I loved that.
I
Um,
really did love. I really did love the Charles and Lando battle. I thought
Me
that was
too.
yeah. This
I
race
was gonna
was
say that.
fun.
It
I had
it was
fun.
really, yeah, lots of battles, lots of overtaking. We got a safety car, which was, we haven't gotten one of those in a while.
Like true.
Yes.
I watched with my
Two,
mom who does not watch F1 and she was in it a little bit. She was like, "Oh, okay. They're doing this, they're doing that. Why are they moving all the time?" Like I feel like there was a lot of movement going on. It was a lot
yes.
of fun.
Yes, and also two pit stops, which is
Yep.
fun. Like
Yep.
because when it's just a one stop, it's not as entertaining. But the fact that there was two keeps the strategy interesting and the tires and all that. Lando picking himself up after yesterday was great to see. He was so down after qualifying. Oscar is scary calm. Agreed. Yes. Lando, I think too, like because I don't know if you saw his quotes after qualifying, like he was depressed basically, and I think that's also something he's just like so hard on himself,
Yes.
and
In
he
his
needs
own
to
way.
be nicer to himself.
He gets in his own way a lot. If something doesn't go his way, I feel like it's not like his way. If like it doesn't go, it's not like that. I'm just saying like if it, they all want things to
Of
go the
course,
yeah.
of course.
Especially with qualifying, you want it to go your way so that in the race you have a better chance of the race going, in your favor. And I think that if something doesn't go in his way, it he's really hard on himself, or I don't know, can't like I was kind of saying earlier, he can't really figure out why it happened or like we just kind of have to you have to accept it, push on, move forward, like, and Oscar is scary calm. And I think
Yeah,
that is genuinely why I think he will be the driver's champion at the end of the year because he just has it all is like clicked for him. He's calm, he's cool, collected. He knows he doesn't get hard on him. He doesn't get down on himself, like it's kind of they're very different. They're very different.
yeah, and I do think Lando's response this during the race was good. Like obviously he didn't start
Yeah.
where he wanted to start, but he made up a bunch of
What he had
spots.
to do. Yep.
Yeah, it was very impressive. And I think he is learning, he is growing. That's all that we can ask for.
Got a penalty during the race and still didn't matter. Totally.
Exactly. Exactly. Which two drivers would you like to see a rivalry between on track? Maybe that we don't like have as rivals right now.
I want to see Charles fight with someone.
That would be fun.
'Cause he's just nice, but I want to see him get
I would love a real Charles Leclerc battle for the championship.
I want to see that dog in him. Like
Yes.
I want to see like I don't know, Charles and I don't know who else. Not Charles and Lewis. Never.
What about Charles and Max? Would that be too much for you?
Scary. That scares me.
Goes back to their childhood, just an incident.
Yeah, that would actually be a good one.
Be
That's
fun.
no one could ever actually have a rivalry with Oscar. He's just too
He does. Oh, well, Carlos Sainz kind of did. Remember early in their career, they were kind
well.
of.
And that was hard for me because I'm a Carlos girl. And I'm like, Carlos, can we not? Like, please.
I know.
And
That was a
then
lot.
Oscar was just kind of like, okay. Like, he's just too cool. He's too
He is too cool. Okay, we'll end here. Do you think Yuki's performance in the Red Bull is a positive sign for the year?
I don't know. You take that away.
I think it's like it's like yes, but like with a sort of, I don't know, it's like a quiet yes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
positive. It's a step in the right direction,
Yeah. I
I
think
would
that
say.
we kind of were talking about that earlier, saying that they have their drivers. I think that Yuki was the right choice. And things are I think things are gonna get better.
They
Um,
desperately need upgrades. That's like
yes.
the biggest concern at the moment. It's not Yuki, it's not Max, it's the car.
Like finally
Yes. Yeah,
we're
you're right.
drivers. It's okay, we need to get the car to where it needs to be. We have our drivers putting this mess of a car in the points. Like, let's now get it to where we can start seeing Red Bull podiums again. Both Red Bull drivers on the podium again. Because since when has that happened?
Yeah, it's been a
Like,
while.
exactly.
It's been a
So
while.
to answer the question, yeah, I think we both agree. A quiet yes.
Yeah, and obviously, as Hannah, like we always say it's important to state how your biases affect your viewing of the race. Obviously,
Right.
very biased about Yuki. I know you are too, but like I think it's a step in the right direction. That's all we can ask
Yeah,
for.
biased about Yuki, but even if you didn't like Yuki, you can't deny.
You can't
But
deny it. Yeah, you're right.
he's doing what he has to do. So I think it's
Exactly.
a good thing.
Um, okay, well that's that. We have Jeddah next week. Very excited. Do you have give us a prediction of who you think's gonna win?
Oscar. I'm going with Oscar. I do think Ferrari's gonna have a good battle. I'm holding on to what Charles said, where he was like,
Yes.
upgrades are going to benefit us a little bit more maybe after this race. So I'm really excited to see what Ferrari has got. So I'm hoping there's a Ferrari up on the podium as well. And I
Crossing
still
my
think
fingers.
Mercedes is going to be up there. So, but I do think Oscar will be on top. I think he's just going to take this
He's gonna
momentum.
keep it going.
Yep, I agree.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go with you too. Oscar is gonna get two wins in a row. Let's put it
Nothing's
out
so
there.
good.
Let's put it out there.
Okay.
Well, Tasha, thank you so much for coming on, for filling in for Hannah. I know
Anytime.
um, you were on last year, but not for a race recap. And I was like, we got to have you back on to talk about a race. I'm glad it was this one, not
Yeah,
Japan, which was
such a
boring.
yeah. This was such a fun race to talk about. I loved it.
So fun. Can you please tell everyone where they can find you on social media and follow you? Because not only do you have great F1 content, you have amazing running content and other sports that you follow and cover. So if you're a sports fan, you got to follow Tasha. So please tell everyone where they can find you.
Yes. Hey, y'all. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube if you are a YouTube person at Tasia Jewel X. It's TasiaJewelX.
Love it. Perfect. Well, you know how we end our show.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so if you would do us the honors of ending us with an enchanté.
Ashante.